Hello and welcome back to my welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing a computer science major Q&A. Garrett and I both just recently graduated from a computer science degree, a bachelor's degree in computer science at Queen's University, and we decided that to reflect and like wrap it all up, we should do. No, he had nothing. He had no say in this. He's just sitting here. So some of the questions that we're answering were actually asked to me. Oh my god, I'm so tired.
Someone asked you a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna answer some of them, plus some other ones that we made up.
Like some of the questions that we made up were just ones that I think might be useful to someone thinking about majoring in computer science. So yeah. The first question is, how did you know that you wanted to major in computer science? Go first.
Because I was a big nerd. I just played a lot of video games when I was younger, and then that got me into computers, and then I just screwed around with computers a lot and decided that was probably a good place to go. It wasn't like, oh, computers are going to be this huge thing, which I guess they already were when we were in high school, but yeah, it was just probably because of my interest in games and stuff. I think that's how a lot of computer scientists start.
How a lot of computer science nerds started.
Yeah. And then you realize that you don't have any time to play games anymore.
But
no, you do if you...
You just have to manage your time. Yeah. Okay, so when I was younger, I don't know, like I've always been really into computers. Like when I was younger, the thing that I always wanted to do the most, like if you asked me at any time of the day like what I wanted to do, like my answer would be that I wanted to play on the computer. I was just so intrigued by it, and there's just so many possibilities of what you can do with your time on the computer. Like you can like draw and paint, like you can play Barbie.com, CartoonNetwork.com. Like it was so fun. And then as I grew older, like because I was the eldest sister, I kind of became the family technician. So if anytime anyone had any trouble with their devices, like they would come to me. So when I finally got to the end of high school and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to major in, computer science just seemed like a obvious choice. It just seemed very obvious to me that I should do it, so I did it, and now I'm here. So question number 2 is, did you already have coding experience before entering the program?
Yes.
How much?
Okay, so I think I first tried coding by myself in like maybe like grade 8 or grade 9. And then I took a computer science course in high school in grade 10 or 11. I don't even remember what year it was now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely 11. I think grade 10 as well.
What did you start with?
They taught us Java.
Really? You started with Java?
They tried, yeah.
Okay. I actually didn't have any programming experience prior to starting university. I had like really, really basic HTML and CSS experience just because I used to have a Tumblr blog that I used to like customize myself like through the code, but I didn't actually formally know it. And also HTML and CSS is not the same as a language like Python or Java. Like it's just strictly for web development. So the first time I actually used an actual programming language was in university. And I thought it was fine, like I didn't have a hard time learning it because the introductory courses at the university that I'm at were pretty good, and the teachers were very supportive, like if you needed extra help. The assignments were good, yeah. Question number 3 is, what is the difference between studying coding on your own versus through a university or college program?
Okay, so when you code, or when you learn to code through university, they basically just give you guidance on like the basic concepts and stuff. They don't teach you anything in depth enough. They kind of just give you an overview of everything there is, and then that's enough for you to go out and try and learn this stuff yourself more in depth.
Yeah. And I feel like when you learn coding on your own, you kind of like focus on one thing and like know it very well, like with boot camps and stuff. But yeah, like Garrett said, we kind of got like an overall guidance of what is part of the computer science, like software engineering field, and like what are the different applications of them. But then yeah, it's like once you do the classes, it's kind of up to you to learn the subject on a practical level.
To make something out of it.
Yeah.
Because you won't be able to make anything useful at least based on what our university taught us.
Yeah, I'm sure other universities are different. It's just based on how they structure the program.
The most important thing is like co-op or like some sort of internship that you take that gives you actual experience with a company.
Do you have any tips for anyone starting out in a similar program? Wait, I have a good one. So this kind of goes back to what we were just talking about. One of the biggest tips is to just practice coding, because you won't know it unless you actually do it. And like you can like read and memorize as much as you want. You can memorize the syntax, you can memorize the rules and everything, but unless you have like actual direct experience like writing a program using the things that you learned, you won't be able to actually absorb it.
What was the question again?
It said, do you have any tips?
On what?
For anyone starting out in the
learning
program.
To code. Or
starting out in the program. Yeah, and like
no, you have to do side projects if you actually want to get a job. That's the tip. That's the biggest tip. You have to do. You have to do.
Not even if you want to get a job. If you want to know how to do it, you have to do a project.
If you want to learn, like try and take as many assignment-based courses as you can. If the grading is mostly tests, then you're not going to learn as much.
Yeah, like we took this one web development course in second or third year. I literally left knowing probably less than I knew before I went in, because the way the teacher did it, she didn't give us any assignments, and it was just 2 tests.
No, she gave assignments, but they were optional, which is
which means that you're not going to do that.
Yeah, which means you're going to focus on other things.
Yeah, so by the end,
and it was like just exam.
Yeah. So
like what, 2 tests or something, wasn't it? Like the whole thing was based on 2 tests. It was really dumb.
Yeah, and like all you do is to pass that course is you memorize the syntax like a day before the test, and then you do the test, and then you don't forget everything. So then I actually had to take an online course in web development to actually be able to make and code a website, which is annoying because I paid $800 for the university course, got nothing out of it, paid $14 for the online course, and actually got experience.
Basically, the only thing university is good for is giving you an overview of all the different areas of computing.
Okay, so the next question is, what's the difference between computer science and computer engineering? From my understanding, like the reason why I chose to go into computer science as opposed to go into computer engineering was because computer science places more of a focus on software, whereas computer engineering, you learn more about hardware. And I don't care about hardware. In the program that I took, we took about I think 1 or 2 courses that taught us about how the hardware works to
circuits and stuff.
Yeah, but that was it. And I feel like in computer engineering, which is what my younger sister Arham's actually doing, she's gonna know a lot more about hardware than I will. And other than that, it's about the responsibility.
There's a legal responsibility, like a legal difference between software engineers and like people with a computer science degree. Certain fields require software engineers to sign off on whatever piece of code. One example would be like developing software for flight control systems on a plane. Like sometimes you need a software engineer to sign off on that piece of code to make it pass the regulatory
conditions,
like people or whatever, like the FAA or whatever. Most pieces of software aren't safety critical like that, so for the most part, it's a non-issue if you're taking computer science.
Yeah. Like pretty much end up with the same jobs unless it's a safety critical position. Yeah. What's it like being a female studying computer science? I guess that's for me. Okay, so I feel like first of all, it might be different for me because Queen's University has a lot more females enrolled in the computer science program than other universities do. Like our program is like almost 50-50. So I didn't really notice a difference. Like it wasn't weird to me to be studying computer science. The only thing was that sometimes when you're doing group projects and you're in a group with like guys, some guys do, like it's kind of annoying because you do notice that they'll expect less from you for some reason, in just a way they're not like super overt with it, but like you'll get that vibe from them a lot of the time. So that's like it's kind of an annoying thing to deal with, but it's not like you can get over it. Like it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, I didn't find any actual problems with being female in computer science, but I also don't have any workplace experience yet, so I can't talk on that. Yeah.
In my first job, there was a pretty equal distribution of male and female.
Yeah.
And other. And I didn't notice it there, so I guess it totally
No, but it's not
totally
just about the presence. It's not just about the presence of, I said, our program was 50-50.
I get that. But I don't know. I mean, I guess I can't say like because I'm a guy, but from my perspective, it didn't seem like anyone was like there were females in like high up roles at that company.
Yeah, but it's like when you're working, like what I was talking about is like we had this group project where it was me and Garrett and some other people, and it would always feel like they were directing any questions to Garrett, just assuming that he knew the answer, and like they wouldn't really talk, like they would just directly talk to him, and that like bothered me. But eventually, like with enough time, like once you like prove yourself, like it sucks that you have to prove yourself in the first place, but once you like show people that you are capable, they stop doing it. But yeah, it's something that it's just an obstacle that you have to deal with, just how it is, and it's fine. Like obviously it should change in the future, but for now it's not as bad as it could be.
You can't force a change. It just has to come from people getting used to.
Yeah.
Like used to it.
Yeah.
I never felt it was never a thing before, except for like a long time ago.
But for me personally, I didn't actually like internalize the feelings. Like I never felt like I couldn't do something because I was female. You know, like one of the reasons that I even wanted to go into computer science was because I thought it was like interesting to be a female in computer science because there are less. I don't know, I thought it'd be like, I was like, oh, I'm into computers, like it'd be cool to do that. So then I did it, and I'm happy. Does that make sense? Do you get what I mean?
You're trying to be different?
No, it's not even trying to be different. It's just like, if I'm into computers, why not do it? Because there's obviously a need for more girls in computer science. And I just wanted to fulfill that role, I guess. Yeah. So next question is there a co-op program at Queen's? So co-op, for those of you who don't know, when I think of co-op, I think of the University of Waterloo, where they have a system where it's like some of the semester, so it's like they'll have a school semester where the students go to classes, and then the next few months will be like a work term, like a 4-month work term, and then that way they get
it's longer than
work.
That, isn't it?
It depends on what, I don't know, it depends on the program, whatever. But basically the idea is that you get work experience while you're working on your degree. And Queen's doesn't have a co-op program like Waterloo does, but we have something called QUIP, which is the Queen's University internship program. And it's kind of different because it's like, instead of putting work terms like between, like shorter work terms between your schooling periods, you kind of take a year off of school, like 8 to 12 months off of school completely, and work a full-time job, and then you return back. Neither Garrett nor I did quit because we don't want our degree to take like extra long. Like we just wanted to get it over with and then start working like once we were done with school. Like I just didn't like the thought of getting used to working and then having to come back and study. Just completely different.
If you need experience though, you should take Coop or some other internship program, because it's really good to get, like, they help you get the jobs. If you're looking to work full-time after you graduate, then you should try and do it.
Yeah, try and do it, but if you don't get it, it's not the end of the world, because you'll still be able to figure it out. Okay, last question is, are you happy with your degree?
Yep. Biggest part of university isn't the education it gives you necessarily, it's the like experience as a whole.
Like the university.
Being collaborative with people, being like so close to people so you can hang out and like make new friends, make connections, grow as a person. And if you worked really hard, you could get, especially in computer science, you could get the same education or better, like just on the internet.
Yeah, but then I feel like for that you need a lot of self-discipline and a lot of like personal drive.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was gonna do a university program regardless, and although I've like complained a lot through the last 4 years about how useless some classes are, I'm still happy that I did it, because I don't think that me 4 years ago would have been able to learn as much on my own.
Yeah,
just like I wouldn't have been able to motivate myself.
It's good to have a set schedule and like have deadlines, basically.
Yeah, and I'm glad I did computer science specifically, because I feel like it's one of the best degrees you can do right now. Just like in terms of where the world's going with tech, like for me, I was talking to Garrett about this the other day, but like because we did computer science is because we understand coding. Like it kind of feels like we can make whatever we want, like because we understand how software works, and because so much of everything around us is now software based, it always feels like we can, like any idea that we come up with, we can kind of implement on our own, as long as we put in enough time to learn about it, which is actually a really cool feeling, because it makes you feel
you could do anything if you're really good at coding. And but like
other than
most like huge things you'd still need a team, but
you can understand,
theoretically, like, you could do it by yourself given enough time.
Yeah, you have a better understanding of how to get from point A to B than someone who did like a biology degree or something. Like people who don't know how to code just have no concept whatsoever of how it works.
How to code?
Yeah, or how any of it works. So anyway, that's what I really like. And also, I feel like computer science, like the major, is really, really good at teaching you how to problem solve. And I feel like the skills I've learned like through writing computer programs and solving those software problems, I'm able to like use that mindset that I've developed to deal with real life problems. Like any problem that comes up to me, it's like I always know that there's a way I can fix it. Whereas before I did this degree, I might not have thought like that.
Yeah, it helps you problem solve for sure.
Yeah, which is a really great life skill to have. So yeah, I am happy that I did this degree.
The punchline is like, the degree basically just teaches you how to Google things really well.
Yeah, so but like, that's what it is.
And because Google is the source of all truth, you can basically learn anything.
Yeah, but that's like all computer science. Like when you apply to a job, like there's no way that you're gonna know every single thing that they need. Like you just have to.
No, you won't.
Because there's so many technologies out there. There's so much involved in the computer science field.
You'll never work somewhere and like already know everything you need to know before you start working.
A lot of it is learning. So
you're always learning.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's all the questions. I'm sorry if I wasn't as articulate as I usually am. It's like late now. It's like 7 p.m. and I worked this morning. So my brain's kind of confuzzled. I don't even know how I sat down to do this. I'm really proud of myself actually. But Garrett helped for sure. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully that was helpful. If I missed anything, ask me down below. And yeah, see you next week.